Picture a love story that legally refuses to end just because one half of it passed away. And that is basically what a widow or widower petition is all about. You married a United States citizen, life threw a curveball, and now immigration law has to decide if your relationship still counts on paper. Here's the twist most people do not expect. You technically do not use the same visa category a spouse uses while their partner is alive. Instead, you file as what is called a widow or widower of a United States citizen, sometimes lumped in casually with immediate relative categories like IR1, but it runs through its own special process. The heartbreaking part is the deadline. You generally have 2 years from the date your spouse passed away to file Form I-360 and start this journey. Miss that window and the door can slam shut, so grief has a clock ticking whether you like it or not. Now here's where people get confused. Some folks assume if the marriage was not at least a certain number of years old it does not count, but that myth gets busted constantly. What actually matters is that the marriage was real, not fake, not for papers, an honest-to-goodness relationship recognized by law. Think of Form I-360 as your emotional and legal receipt, proving you were truly married and that your spouse was a citizen at the time they died. You are basically telling the government, this was real, please let me continue building a life here. Evidence is everything in this process, so photos, joint bank accounts, lease agreements, even old text messages become your best friends. It sounds almost like preparing for a really personal court case, except the defendant is bureaucracy and the verdict decides your future. A lot of people panic thinking they need a lawyer standing next to them every single step, but really an attorney is more like a translator between confusing government forms and your real-life story. They know exactly which documents make immigration officers nod instead of squint. Here's a fun historical nugget. Immigration law used to punish widows and widowers pretty harshly, sometimes stripping status the moment a spouse died. Congress eventually realized that was cruel and unnecessary, so they carved out protections so love does not just evaporate with a death certificate. Once your I-360 gets approved, you are treated similarly to other immediate relatives of citizens, meaning no long wait in visa backlog purgatory. That is huge because some family categories wait years, sometimes over a decade, just for a number to become current. People also worry, wait, do my kids get left behind in this? Thankfully, no. Unmarried children under 21 can often be included, which honestly feels like one of the few genuinely kind twists in immigration law. Now let us talk about timing drama, because life does not pause for paperwork. If your spouse passed away while an existing petition was pending, sometimes that petition can automatically convert, almost like the system whispering, "Do not worry, we got you." Doubt creeps in for a lot of applicants. They think grief plus government forms equals impossible mission. But thousands of people successfully navigate this every year, proving preparation and calm persistence beat panic almost every single time. Community stories matter here too because so many widows and widowers feel isolated, like nobody understands their weird mix of loss and legal stress. Talking to others who walk this path or professionals who guide it daily turns a lonely maze into a shared hallway with actual exits. If there is one lesson tucked inside all this, it is that immigration law, despite its cold paperwork exterior, occasionally shows surprising humanity. Losing a spouse is devastating enough without losing your entire future in the same breath. So if your head is spinning, trying to figure out deadlines, evidence, or whether your situation even qualifies, you do not have to untangle it solo. Want to learn more about how we can help with cases like this? Check out our links in the description.